At the beginning of the film, we meet a couple, Sera and John. John was always busy with his work, while Sera was pregnant at this time. One day, when she was very ill, she called John, but John did not answer any of her calls. And when she came back, she got the most shocking news that her son had died. From that day onwards, Sera started becoming more worried and depressed. Sera did not even leave the house. John took a new decision to return to life. He decides that they will change houses, which will distract Sera. Sera did not like this idea. These people started searching for houses online. And he went to many places and saw the house himself. But he could not find any house for a month or two. And now he felt that his idea was useless. They were about to give up their idea, but then a woman told them about her friend who owned a mansion. And he wanted to sell that mansion. John and Sera went to his address. This house was in a very deserted area. When he saw this house, at first he got a strange feeling, as if this house was haunted. But when they went inside, they were surprised to find that it was not a house. This was a mansion. It was a beautiful palace. When they arrived home, they were met by the owner, Amy, who began to show them around the house. While doing so, he told them that the house was built in 1980, and it took almost 20 years to renovate it. And everything here was proof of this. Sera felt that this house was like her dream house. Everything was here. They kept talking among themselves, and Amy made lunch for them. While having lunch, he asked, "Why do you want to live in such a desolate place?" Then Sera replied, "We have faced a lot of difficulties in our life, and now we just want to start a new life in some deserted place." Hearing this, Amy said, "This is a good thing. You guys stay in this house for a day or two. We'll talk about the deal later." Hearing this, he became even more excited, and he decided to live in this house. Amy gave him only one instruction to stay in this house. "As long as you guys are here, don't open the basement door at all." They stayed here last night. And this morning when they went out to buy Amy, they saw that Amy was not at home. He has just received a letter from Amy, in which it was written that Amy was gifting him this house. Both were surprised to hear this. How can one gift one's house? They were complete strangers to Amy. Amy had written only one condition in her letter: do not open the basement door at all. John could not believe anything. He thought that this was all a joke on him, or there is some big secret hidden behind that basement door, due to which they can also get trapped. While they were talking about this, one of Amy's friends came and told them about Amy. She had brought the property documents of this house. Both were surprised to see this. John still did not have the right to take this house. But then Sera explained to him, "Look, John, this house has everything. If we do anything new, it will cost a lot to renovate it. And here we do not have to spend any money. So, what is the problem with this?" Now, after listening to Sera, John decides to keep this house for himself. They also shifted to this house. He spent some happy days in this house. And then they held a welcome party in this house. Lisa was also in this party. And we found out that Lisa was John's ex-girlfriend. Even after marriage, John had an affair with Lisa. But after the death of John's son, he had no relationship with Lisa. And now he suddenly got scared after seeing her in this party. John was afraid that his wife might find out about Lisa. He takes Lisa alone and asks, "What is your purpose of coming here?" Lisa replied, "I have no purpose. My friend has invited me here." Before he could say anything else to Lisa, John heard Sera's voice from outside. His voice sounded scared. John ran outside. He saw that some strangers were outside carrying petrol bottles and were threatening to burn this house. John was also scared. Then he said, "Vacate this house politely. If you don't leave this house, we will burn this house." This was really very disturbing. But for now, the man was gone. The next day, when John came to the office, he came to know another surprising thing. Out of anger, Lisa filed a false report against him in the office. Due to this, he was suspended in the office. And he talked about investigating the matter. John was very upset by these things. He could not tell this even to his wife, because he was afraid that his wife might find out about Lisa. and he treated his wife as if everything was normal. And in his spare time at home, he started paying attention to the same basement door which his mother had forbidden him to open. Thinking this, he stood in front of the basement door. He was wondering what was there in it that he was forbidden from opening it. He tried to open the lock with the rod without breaking it. But when the door did not open, he decided to see the design of this house, so that he will know what is inside this basement. Now, to get the design of this house, he went to the company which had designed this house. The employee there tells John that the first people living here have also asked for the design of this place many times. But no one came here except you to get this design. This thing was very disturbing to him. This man also told John that Amy lived here 20 years ago. But then, without any reason, his wife left him along with their daughter. No one knows the reason for this. Now John's curiosity had increased. He started thinking that maybe the secret of Amy's family was hidden in that basement. He became even more excited to open the basement and find out about it. He came home and saw all this design, which was almost normal. He had now opened the lock of the basement. When he went inside, at first he thought everything was normal. But then he discovered that there was a basement beneath the floor. He had just removed the sticks from the floor when he realized that he had come to Sarah's house. He immediately ran and closed this basement and came back to his home and started doing his normal work, so that Sera does not know that he had gone to the basement. This night, John receives a call from Lisa. Lisa was threatening him in a way. She was asking to meet him. John also decided to meet him the next day, and he requested that whatever he said in the office, that misunderstanding should be cleared. But after hearing this, Lisa became even more angry because John had come to meet him for his own selfish reasons. And now he decided to take revenge. She decided that she was John's wife. Sera was told the whole truth that John had cheated on her. The next day, we see Sera at home, where he is very ill today. He was suspecting that perhaps she was pregnant, and his doubt also turned into belief. She was very happy. She wanted to tell this to John immediately. While making a call, his phone accidentally fell. And when she started picking up the phone, she got the design of this house while sitting. She also started looking at this design. And now she knew that John was investigating about that basement. Like John, he also decided to go inside that basement. Lisa came to her house from behind while she was in the basement. She wanted to tell him about John's infidelity. But here he could not find Sera anywhere. And he touched Sera's pregnancy test. She became even more jealous, and his anger turned into hatred. When Sera came upstairs, she saw the door of the house open, and he closed it quietly, without thinking that someone might have entered his house also. When John came home, he saw that Lisa's car was leaving his house. Seeing this, he got angry and got scared. Did Lisa tell Sera the whole truth? He started following Lisa's car, so that he could know why Lisa had come to his house. But even after following him for a long time, he could not find anything. And he came back home angry, where Sera was waiting for him. Ask him why he opened the basement door? John made the excuse that there was nothing like that there. I just opened it, but I didn't find anything. John did not tell Sera about the basement there, which he was looking under the floor. Thank God John had already sealed it. Here Sera also gave him some good news, that they're going to become parents again. And John was very happy to hear this. Now perhaps the sorrow of his first son was also going to subside. After hearing this news, John also gets this happiness from the office. Everything that Lisa had accused him of was gone, because during the investigation John was not found wrong in anything. John felt very relieved after this news. His life was back on track. Now a new member was about to arrive in their family. John decided to make a room for her in his house. And while they were preparing the room, then John noticed a hole in the wall behind Cinderella. A bullet was stuck in this hole, which was part of Amy's old collection. Amy had shown him this collection. And seeing this, he understood that Amy must have murdered her family. And certainly their bodies would have been hidden in his basement. That is why he talks about not opening that basement. He also discussed this with Sera. Now they were talking about the sudden knock at the door. Police officers came out. They also brought a shocking news. Lisa was murdered, whose car was found in the forest. The police came to interrogate John. because here John's affair and Lisa's allegations against him became quite famous. And everyone thought that because of Lisa's accusation, John may have killed Lisa in revenge. John could have said anything during the investigation, but Sera supported him and lied to the police that John was at home the whole day. The question of such investigation does not arise. Therefore, the police went away without investigating. Sera was very angry after the police left, because the police had told him about John and Lisa's affair. John was trying to defend himself here. He wanted to tell Sera that he had ended this affair long ago, but Sera silenced him and said that I knew all this from the day my daughter died because of that girl. I kept calling you. I knew at that time that you were with that girl. I tolerated all this because I wanted to keep my family safe. But now Sera did not want to live with John, because Sera felt that Sera also had doubts about John. She said she could not let her child grow up with a father accused of murder. After hearing this, John convinced him. Listen to me, Sera. I didn't do anything to him. Trust me. Sera left from here. But now John was lost in his thoughts. He did not realize that so many problems had come into his life. While thinking, a thought came to his mind, that ever since he came to this house, the problems in his life have increased even more. And it is also possible that there is some secret hidden behind it in the basement. Thinking this, he goes to the house of the man named by the designer. To whom did Amy give this house first? Who had also asked the designer for the design of this place. John was surprised after going to her house. This was the same man who had threatened John to leave the house on the day of the party. Otherwise, he had also said that he would burn this house. This person welcomed John very well into his house, and they started talking about that same house. The boy said, "First of all, I was also very happy that I was getting such a luxurious house for free. But as time passed, I realized that this house is just a problem. Because of this, my life got spoiled. I became addicted to alcohol, and my family abandoned me. And then I realized that there is a curse in this house." John wanted to know what was there in that cellar, due to which there was liquor in that house. He wanted to talk about it. But the man did not tell John anything, and said, "Just remember one thing, never open that basement door." Now, when he did not get any strong answer from this person, so he went home and broke the lock of that basement and decided to go into that basement. And seeing this, Sera immediately came to stop him. John was no longer listening to him. Sera then had to attack John with a big stick, causing John to faint. Sera brought him to her home. When John regained consciousness, it was already morning. As soon as Sera regained consciousness, she revealed a big truth, that it was not John who was behind Lisa's murder, but Sera herself. She told John that I had also gone to open the door of this basement, but I didn't find anything in the basement. And when I came home, Lisa was on the second floor. She had my pregnancy test in her hand and was looking at the house. He told me that this house should not be yours, it should be mine. You have no right to this house because John is not yours. Hearing this, I got angry and picked up my gun and opened fire at him. Although Lisa was not seriously injured at that time, her life could have been saved. But I was scared because of the bullets. I was afraid that the police might track me down and I might be punished. So to hide everything, I strangled Lisa to death. The bullet that John found on the wall was fired by Sera. Now she says to John, "You promise me that you will never open this basement." Then John asked why. So Sera says that after killing Lisa, I wrapped Lisa in a polythene sheet and threw her in the basement. And then I took her car and went to the bank of a river. There I also threw his phone in the river and erased all traces of it. Sera said that I had also burnt my clothes which had Lisa's blood on them. But then you saw that bullet on the wall, and I saw myself trapped. But at that time the police came to the house, and my aim was to save you. I was afraid that the police might come near me while investigating. Sera was telling all these things so easily as if this was not a murder, but a party incident. Here John tells him, "Listen, don't worry, I will appoint a lawyer for you." Hearing this, Sera starts laughing and tells him, "I am not afraid. I don't even know Lisa. All the evidence is against you. If anyone comes to me, the blame for this murder will fall on you, and you will be killed. So it is better that you remain silent, and I will also remain silent." And we won't tell anyone about that basement door. And we will tell everyone that Amy has forbidden us to open the door of this basement. Sera started feeling scared. She was really very intelligent. She could handle any matter very easily. John knew that Sera still did not want to trap him. But yes, a family wants to keep it going. John also agreed with all these things. But despite this decision, John was still nervous. Then Sera said to him, "Look, there are many lost people in this city. If the police does not find any clue, then it will stop the investigation." Hearing this, John also agrees and seals the basement. It is said that after this day, these people stayed in this house for a long time. He also organized all the programs in this house. They also celebrated all the festivals, in which Sera was looking quite satisfied. But trouble was often visible on John's face. After a long time, these people receive a parcel from Amy. That is, a parcel of the owner of this house, who had the key to that basement. These people had passed the Amy exam, was patient, and did not open that cellar. Now giving him this key meant that Amy had given him permission to open this basement. But now the secret of these people is hidden in that basement. Will these people open that basement or not? The film ends here with this mystery.